desert highway. Wind in my hair.
Hi, this is Kelly, your certified health coach.
And this is Scarlett, your life coach here in the Valley of the Sun. Welcome to hot in Arizona.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's nice today.
Uh-huh. It is. It's not as windy as it was.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow, my throat is still my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weekend, I spent my time outside, and it was like, it was like, Annie M.
Yeah.
It was windy.
It was windy.
It was windy. How you been?
Good.
Been busy?
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm always busy.
Yeah, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. You went to a little house thing.
I did. I went to the Home and Garden Show.
Right, and they had little houses.
They had tiny houses. I only got to see
fun.
a few of them because my daughter got sick, but we had to leave. But yeah, the ones I saw were really, really cool.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see the container home, but I didn't get to see that one. But
bummer.
Yeah,
Well,
they were pretty cool.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Well, I met up with some friends. We had dinner, and we hadn't seen each other in a while, all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this one of them. She's single, and the other friend is married.
Mm-hmm.
And my single friend, beautiful girl. She's had other things going. She had been engaged at one point, and then she had other things going on. But now she's like, I'm ready to get out there again.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about it's scary.
It is
first
scary.
off.
It is scary. It's scary to date.
It is. And the thing is, what I really liked what she said was, she's at that point in her life. She knows what she brings to a relationship, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And she honestly, she brings a lot. I'd date her. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. She's funny. Oh my gosh. She's funny. She's a good conversationalist. She's well educated, well traveled. Yeah, she brings a lot. She really does. She's a very caring person, very caring. And so she would really be a catch. Really be a catch. And she had some other friends, and they were like, oh, this guy is coming over to this party they were having. She's like, you've met him before, but I think, we'll see. Well, dude shows up. You know what cracks me up is that she knows what she would bring to a relationship, and it's all very, very valid. But a lot of times men, and I don't know if it's that ego, maybe they think they don't need to bring anything to a relationship. I don't know. I was always told never show up empty-handed, right? That
right.
And this guy, again, I don't know who he is. I haven't seen him. I don't know what he looks like. Even still, I don't care how pretty you are. You need to be able to bring something more than that.
Right.
But he had a list.
Oh my goodness.
Of must-haves.
Like an actual written down?
written down list.
Okay.
Yeah. Of almost like 30 different points.
What?
30 different criteria.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That he wants before he'll date you. And the majority, like 20 of these, had to do with physicalities. Okay. Certain hair color, facial features, even the size of her breasts. It's like, now, obviously, homeboy is single.
Obviously.
Probably will be for a very long time.
Yes, because you're never going to find the perfect person.
You're not. It's there has to be. So this other friend of ours, this married friend, of yours and mine, I had mentioned to her, I'm like, yeah, maybe we're ready. Maybe we're ready. I know you are. I don't know if I am. I like playing the field. I don't know if... I don't know.
Right.
But I gave her like 2 or 3 points, you know?
Right.
Just, you know, one was gainfully employed.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
I think that that's important. And it's not like you have to be like a CEO.
Right.
It's just gainful employment to where you are able to maintain some type of dwelling. that you're not always...
a tent in the woods.
Right. And that you're not always, you know, well, yeah, I'll see if I can borrow somebody's car. No. Or like that dude that you had to drive
yeah, the
all
guy,
over on your date, right?
Yeah. Yes, never again.
So it's not like, I mean, there are some things that are just kind of must-haves, okay?
Right.
To me, those are must-haves.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, when it comes to something like physical appearance, I can kind of give on some of those.
Tall. I need them to be taller.
I know you
than
like
me.
them tall. I know you do. I don't really care.
Not even taller than me, but at least as tall as
right.
me. Yes.
But you're like what, 5'9"?
I'm 5'10".
5'10".
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm only 5'5".
Right.
So everybody's taller than me, except for my last husband. So, but most people are taller than me. So for me, you know, I don't really even mention that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't really mention that. As far as like, you know, hair color, although I always, you know, I didn't really want like a redhead or a blonde. I like darker.
Mm-hmm.
But what have I married? My first husband was a redhead with freckles. I don't like freckles. But there were just other things about him that, you know, he was still an attractive guy, great body, you know, just gainfully employed, just not enough to afford the drug habit. But, so I did kind of, you know, give a little on that.
For me, on the physical side of it, I don't need you to be skinny, because, I mean, look at my husband. He was a little chubby. But
he was a tall guy, yeah.
He was 6 foot, but he slouched. He had really bad posture, so he looked like he was like 5'10". But just have some pride in yourself. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. You know, that you want to be somewhat healthy so that you'll be around for a while.
Right.
You know, not...
And you don't want them to be slovenly.
Right, exactly.
You know, even if you are overweight, dress nice.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to wear holey t-shirts. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wear breeches that don't fit.
Right.
I mean, you can dress nicely.
Exactly.
For not very much money.
Right.
I mean, you know.
I obviously don't care if they have hair or not.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I don't care if they have hair or not.
Yeah.
No. My second husband, well, of course he shaved most of his head, but he was pretty much bald. Mm-hmm. He was just pretty much bald.
Tom was bald.
But yeah, I find that very attractive, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that it's important to know what you want, because there are some things that I think that you should not compromise on.
Absolutely.
One of the things for me is money. Mm-hmm. I want somebody who feels the same way about money that I do. And my third husband, he and I were on the same... We saw eye to eye on the whole money thing, on what you wanted to spend on, what you were willing to pay for quality items, as opposed to, yeah, we can go ahead and, you know, this one can be a little chintzy, not a big deal.
Right.
So that's a good thing. I think that is important. You know, religion, I don't really care. You know, whatever you want to believe is fine with me. Just if I don't want to believe it, don't drag me in with you.
Right.
But politics.
Politics is huge for me.
For me, it is too. Now, we have a friend who, she and her husband are total opposites.
Yeah.
But it works.
It works for them.
It works, and I think that's great. I think it's great. I don't think I'd be able to talk about it with so I don't want to argue.
I don't want to argue about that.
But I do feel so firmly that I want to have somebody that I can discuss it with. But I want you to go, yeah, I agree. I think you're right. Darn right.
I'm just not an arguer as far as, I mean, I don't want to argue religion. I don't want to argue politics. I don't want to argue any of that stuff, so.
Right.
Politics is big for me.
Yeah, there are some things I don't want to argue. There are some times when I'll pick a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to argue.
For me, something that I do not want to give in on is, are you a gentleman?
Oh my goodness, yes.
You
Yes.
you have to be a gentleman.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to give up on that.
No, and you shouldn't.
Right.
That is something that you should not.
Right.
Yeah. I'm very proud of my sons because even like their little girlfriends will tell me, such a gentleman. I'm like,
that's good.
Phew.
Good. That's nice to hear.
It is nice to hear. It really is. That you try so hard and you raise your kids, but then once they're out the door, you never know what they're doing.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
And they could just be feeding you lip service.
Exactly.
Oh no, Mama, no, I would never do that. Or oh, you told me, and yeah, okay, whatever. I know what I was like. So
right.
Yeah, but no. So I think that is important. Yeah, especially coming from like the type of relationship I came from. Obviously there was a disconnect somewhere with him.
Yeah.
And he was a gentleman up until that point. But I do think that it is important. And again, it doesn't mean, so many men, it's like, oh, you want a gentleman and you want the guy to do everything for you. No. I don't.
No.
I want the guy to be kind.
Yes.
I want him to be polite.
Yes.
I do want him to open
everybody.
doors for me. Yeah, exactly. To everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And to puppies and kittens. Everybody. To children, everybody.
Yep.
I want him to put other people first. And not to his disadvantage.
Right.
But, opening doors. Not just for me.
Right.
But a kind hello. So many men don't get that training.
No.
They don't get that training.
Exactly.
So that is important. That is important.
Yes.
Yeah. Good cook. And I would like somebody who cooks well. Because I don't like to cook. So either be good at making food or good at making reservations. Right? They need to be able to do that. But that is something also that I could compromise on. That's not like a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. That's just, I think that it is important to know what you want in a relationship in order to make it work.
Right.
But I do think that when it gets to be so specific, I think that is detrimental.
Oh, I agree.
Because what happens if something happens to that person once you're in the relationship?
Right.
What if you want someone who is active? And what if, God forbid, they're in an accident?
Right.
And now they're wheelchair bound?
Right. Exactly.
What does that do to the relationship? Because it was so much a part of your, little checklist.
Right.
What happens then? That is hard.
That would be hard.
That would be definitely difficult.
Yep.
Yeah, I would hope. I just felt really bad for this guy, honestly.
Well, yeah, because he obviously doesn't understand it.
That he put so many parameters.
You have to be willing to compromise on stuff because you're never going to be able to find the perfect person.
Think of how limiting that is.
Right, exactly.
Think of how limiting that
what he's
is.
missing out on. Think of what he's missing out on.
Like somebody like my friend.
Right.
Who is, again, would probably check off a lot of those boxes.
Exactly.
Because she is beautiful. She has a killer smile, beautiful eyes, beautiful hair. She is so smart. And, I would say, well, she's college educated, which she is, but that doesn't always mean you're smart.
This is true.
Doesn't always mean you're smart. Means that you got a lot of time on your hands. But she is intelligent. And like I said, funny, and just a great conversationalist, and well-traveled and well-read. And I think part of me is like, he would be missing out on her, and part of me is like, thank goodness she's missing out on him.
Right.
Because
Right.
she does not need...
Mm-hmm.
What kind of pressure is that to live up to?
Right.
It's like, this is what I was looking for, this is what you were, and now, things have changed, and you're not holding up your part of the bargain? What the heck?
Exactly.
Exactly. Things like that just fry me.
Yeah.
Although, and it's kind of funny, like, I don't know, do you make lists like that?
I don't have a physical list.
But just a mental checklist?
But I have a little mental list, yeah.
So, do you do that for other things?
I make lists for a lot of stuff. I'm a pro and con list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes that's how I make decisions. I'm really slow to make decisions because I'm so afraid that I'm going to make the wrong decision.
Which is really funny considering the line of work you're in.
Right.
Because at work, you have to make split decisions.
Split-second decisions, but then in my personal life, it's like, oh, I take forever.
That is so funny. And maybe that's why.
Probably.
Maybe that's
Except
why.
for when I married Tom. That was not a split. That was not a drag my feet kind of decision. That was very quick. But
well, yeah, sometimes you just have to move fast.
Yeah, you just know.
You just do.
You just know.
So,
I listen to my gut a lot, though.
That's good.
I know.
That's
my
good.
gut is very
I don't
rarely
listen to my gut.
wrong. I'm very rarely wrong. Well, I'm very rarely wrong when it comes to other people, for other people. So like for my daughter, a boy comes around and he wants to date her, and I'm
and you're
like,
no.
And okay, you can give that, that one might be okay. But,
right.
Most of them are no.
Right.
Because they're not nice. They're not nice.
Right. And
So,
that's the biggest thing. Just be flippin' nice.
Right.
Just be nice.
And she doesn't get it. I'm like, Kaylin, have I ever been wrong? Well, no.
No. Yeah. No.
So.
I'm a list maker. Like, one of my vehicles, when I moved to Arizona, I had come out here, gotten stuck in a snowstorm in a Ford Escort with bald tires.
Oh, no.
And I drove from Flagstaff to Kingman in this snowstorm. It was almost a complete whiteout. Like, semi-trucks were pulling over and just sitting. And I had like an eighth of a tank of gas.
Oh my gosh.
And I got to Kingman, and this was before cell phones. I phoned my mother, and she's like, "Where have you been?" Because I usually called when I got to Kingman. I said, "I hate Arizona. I'm never coming back." And so after that, she said, if you had a four-wheel drive vehicle, would you come back? Yeah, maybe. She said, "Okay, think about it. Let me know what you want." And I did make this list. I mean, it had to have a certain amount of torque. It had to have this big of an engine. It had to be this long. It had to have four-wheel drive. It had to. I wanted it to be green. I wanted the spare tire to be on the inside, not on the outside. I wanted it to be shift on the fly four-wheel drive. I didn't want to have to get out of my car.
Right.
Like the Isuzu Rodeos. You would have to get out. And I'm like, no, I want shift on the fly. And she invited me back out one weekend. And we drove out to the Chevy place. And there it was. Everything on my checklist.
Wow.
It was green. It had great torque. It had shift on the fly. And it wasn't slow down to 10 miles an hour shift on the fly. No, it was 40 mile an hour shift on the fly four-wheel drive.
Oh.
Yeah, so you could be hauling butt, and all of a sudden you see snow on the road, and you're like, oh, and you hit that button. You're good. It had the tire in the back. I mean, everything was exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So I told my son when he was like, I want a truck, I don't know what I want, blah, blah, blah. I said, this is what you do. You make your little checklist. And it took him a year, but he now has the truck that his little dream truck, you know. It's not a little, it's a big pickup truck, but it had.
Well, he's a big kid.
It is. It hit all of those check marks.
Huh.
So I do think it's important sometimes that you do have this to help keep you focused, especially when you do have a hard time making decisions.
Right, exactly.
And I think that it's important when it comes to people. But I do always think that there is room.
Oh, absolutely.
For compromise.
Absolutely.
Because you may miss out. Like my son, he did not get the truck in the color he wanted. He wanted a different color, but now he is super happy that he got the color he has. So I think there should always be some room for compromise, because you don't know what you're going to miss out on.
Right.
I think that you do need to, certain values that you have are important. But superficial things.
Right, like hair color, really? That can be changed.
So can breast size, when you think about it.
Right. It's so stupid.
But how shallow are you? I don't know. It just makes me think not much of this guy.
Right.
It's like, somehow I don't think that he would check off a lot of boxes on somebody else's list. Right. I think that once he opened his mouth, they'd be like, "You're pretty. Good thing."
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Good thing you're pretty. Well, I make lists for like all kinds of stuff. Even when I go road tripping.
Yeah.
And I love to like explore places and find new places. And one of the things that I want some place that is like close. I don't want it to be like a overnight thing right now. I just looking for something close, maybe a day trip, right? Some place that's not too hot but not too cold. I'm looking for the Goldilocks thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just right. Some place with a lot of history, great architecture. Really important is friendly people.
Yep, absolutely.
I found someplace.
Yeah?
Checked off all those boxes.
Oh, yeah?
And that brings us to what is hot in Arizona.
Okay.
I went to Ajo.
You did?
I did.
Nice.
Went to Ajo. 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 Little B town.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Interstate 10, you take 85 south. All the way down. Now, Google Maps, who I kind of rely on, but I don't know if I totally trust them. It said from Interstate 10 that it was like an hour and a half. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And I was not speeding that much. I mean, people were whizzing by me. But, I like to enjoy the scenery.
Right.
And, oh my gosh, what scenery. So, it was such an easy drive.
Yeah.
It only felt like it took maybe an hour. Maybe it took a little bit more than that, but it didn't feel like it. Super straight, except when you get to Gila Bend, you do that little jog, and then you head down again. It's flat, so you're not fighting going up a hill.
Right.
It's not windy. It is just a straight shot. Zoom! 90 miles an hour? That's not the speed limit. Don't do that. I think the speed limit is 65.
Nice.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, desert scenery, whatever. You get down to Gila Bend, do that little jog. The saguaros are in bloom. And these rock formations as a backdrop to these saguaros was amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing. You get down to Ajo, little dirt town. It was a company town, built up around a mine.
Yep.
So old shacks. You get down to their plaza, which I think was built in like 1917 or something. The plaza is beautiful. Big green park with a stage, all these shops, businesses, restaurants around it. It was a Saturday that we went. They had an artisans market, not a farmer's market, an artisans market. They did have people selling like some home-baked goods and things like that. There is this art gallery called Art Under the Arches. All these local artists, beautiful works of art. The gallery used to be the Dodge Phelps grocery store, which was almost like a Walmart. Anything you needed, you went in to get. You could buy groceries and clothing. They had a pharmacy. They had the ice cream shop. Everything within this little store. And you charged it. So, you know, the women would come down and then they just took it out of the paycheck for the men working in the mine. So, all this was there. They had these two beautiful old churches, a Catholic church, a Federalist church, and then you're looking at these churches, and between them is this huge, beautiful old building. It is now an artist colony. It's a live work space. If you're an artist, you can, and you can't make more than so much money. You have to be a starving artist, basically. But they have apartments that have like studios inside them. And you could get a studio apartment all the way up to a 3-bedroom. The studios start at $300. The 3-bedroom apartments are $600 a month.
Wow.
I know. They're huge. They're beautiful. And they have this big studio space inside your apartment to do your artwork. Whatever kind of artwork you do.
Wow.
And then you can like cruise through